Let's get this show on the road. First light, sun isn't even up yet, and you can see to my right a kayak with fishing gear and the first bridge of the morning. This one here is where we're going to start off, so let's jump out and get right into it. Isn't that just a beautiful sight? The sunrise is happening right while I've got to the bridges. Let's get into today. I'm very, very excited. We're going to be spending 12 to 16 hours today fishing bridges, trying to catch the biggest fish possible. Oh, there are some really good fish down there. And man, I am struggling to keep up with this current. It is absolutely flying at the moment. What I'm doing is tying on a very, very heavy jig head just because of how fast it's flowing. I do want to get on some live baits later on and fish with live baits, but to start off with, we're just going to get a lure tied on straight away and have a few casts with big soft plastic. Let's rub a little bit of mullet scent all over this lure. So we're going to be starting off with a 5-inch Z-Man paddle-tailed soft plastic. Really big profile, but hopefully it picks us up a really big fish. Going to be starting off fishing right along these bridge pylons. A lot of the fish will congregate along there. All the bait hugs against the bridge and the predators are never far away. So let's go up and give it a cast. I'm really excited because I just saw some big fish just to the right of this pylon here. So we could be in for a bit of luck, or they might not be feeding. You just never know when you're fishing. Let's go. First cut. Oh, almost took out the bridge. First cast. Oof. Let's see. That lure did sink pretty quick. We might need a downsize jig head size just a little bit. Sunk a little bit too quick for my liking, but at least we're getting down there. Oh, we had a hit. I don't think it was very big, but right alongside that bridge. It's the perfect little spot. There's a little back eddy which all these pylons form, and that's where the fish will sit a lot of the time. Might get on a slightly lighter jig head. Let's have a look at this thing in the water. Oh yeah, look at the wobble to that. That looks amazing. So it is actually half the weight. This is a 1/2 ounce, the last one was 1 ounce, and it's also 1 inch smaller, so a slightly smaller soft plastic as well. We'll try that in the same back eddies, see if we can get a bite. Going light to get the bite is something which works a lot more than what you think. If you're fishing too heavy, you can miss out on a lot of bites, especially from fish which can be finicky or shut down. So it always pays to switch it up, just try something different. Bang, straight in that back eddy. We'll float that down, see if it gets any attention. There we go. Yep, we got a fish. We definitely have a fish. Nice, that was second cast. As soon as we downgraded plastic size, we got something to eat. How cool is that? That is so sick. Second cast with the less lightly weighted jig head and the slightly smaller plastic. We got a little Jewie. Awesome, that is our exact target species for the day, little jewfish. And we've already managed to hook one. Oh, he's only a little tacker, but that is a grouse. Grouse way to start off the day. 12 hours fishing along the bridge. And we started off with a beautiful little Jewie. Take a look at the colours on these fish. They are just so awesome. Obviously this is only a little juvenile, a little puppy, but these ones are still good to see. It means it's a very healthy river system of this juvenile jewfish. Let's get that lure out. You can see it almost looks exactly like him, that lure. Very purpley colour. That's grouse. That is grouse. I reckon there's going to be some bigger ones there as well. Sunrise jewfish. All right, mate. We'll see you off. That water's pretty dirty, but there he is there. The trusty little paddle tail always gets the job done. What a grouse way to start off the morning. It's actually really, really cold this morning, but when you get a fish like that, it feels just a little bit warmer. Let's get another cast in there, right along that bridge pylon. He was actually sitting out the back a little bit. It's good to pick up on. I was sounding up some really big arches on my sounder. I just knew that they were too big to be bream or anything like that. I knew they were jewfish. It looked like there were some bigger ones there as well. I'm keeping an eye on my sounder for bait as well, because if I do see a lot of bait, I'm going to drop the sabiki rig down, try and get a couple and use some liveys. So I'm keeping a keen eye on that sounder in case it lights up with bait. But for now, I'm not seeing too much, so we'll just keep on using the lures. Come on, fishy, we know you're in there. Seeing you on the sounder. If that wind would go away, that would be nice. It's so cold at the moment. Might try out a Squidtrex. Well, I've been using big plastics for the entire morning so far, and it's been a little bit quiet since that first fish, so we're going to give this a crack. Going to do the same thing we're doing with the plastics, except hopping a vibe along the bottom instead. Looks really, really good. We'll see if we can get one doing that. There's a lot of fish down there, but they seem to have lockjaw. We might have to try and catch some live baits and then use those instead. There we go. First, oh, that was a good fish. First cast with the Squidtrex. Bummer. That was a really good hit. You're kidding me. Oh, that was a grouse hit. Well, the change in profile definitely got a hit. That was a jewfish for sure. Really good clunk. Really good clunk. That sucks. The hooks didn't stick. Ugh. Painful. There we go. Yep, on the drop. It's another good fish. Once again on the little Squidtrex vibe, and we've got another hook up. What is it? Oh, it's a brim. You're kidding me, it's a brim. It's actually a really good brim as well. Big brimbo on the vibe. We will take that, a nice little second place prize. Definitely not as good as that first fish we had, but he has clunked that little vibe as well. Just hooked him on the end of the lip. We'll get that off and get him going. See you, buddy. That fella's nowhere near as exciting as that first clunk I had. That was a good Jew, the first one. There we go. Another fish. It was only a couple of casts later and we've hooked up once again. It feels like another brim, to be honest. Doesn't feel very big. Feels like another brimbo. See if we can get him up and get a look. Should see him right out the side here in just a second. See if I'm right. Another brim? Yeah, that is ridiculous. That is like 2 brim in 3 casts. The brim are loving this little lure. I'm using 20-pound leader as well, so I'm definitely not going finesse. The brim are just eating it anyway. There he is there. Little lure pinned right in the front of the face. Those hooks have got him good. He's a little bit bigger than that first one as well. He's a solid little brimbo. Alright, Brimby, we'll see you later. Thanks for coming. The vibe is definitely getting a fair bit of interest along the bridge. We lost one jewfish and had a couple brim on already. It is a bit of a smaller profile, so can expect more bites, but there was a big fish which hit it as well, so if that comes back, I'm very, very excited. There's still a couple good fish coming through on the sounder, and the tide change is happening right now, so anything could happen really. Oh, another fish. That feels a little bit better. Wow, that didn't take long at all. That was only 2 more casts, I think, again, after that last fish, and we've got another one. That feels a little bit heavier too. Definitely feels a little bit heavier. Not sure that's going to be a brim. This is exciting. This little lure is on fire. Oh, it's a nice little Jew. Look at that. It is a nice little Jew on the little squid. We knew they were down there. It was just a matter of getting him to eat. We're going to get him in the net, or we're just going to try to lift him up. Let's try to lift him up like that. Nice. That's a good little Jewy. The squid lure has just turned it on. 2 brim and a little Jewy now in like 15 minutes. That is exactly what the doctor ordered. A nice little jewfish on that squid lure. Just changed over to the vibe, and we've had a lot of action ever since I've done that. That's the second jewfish eat on this vibe lure already, and we haven't been fishing it for very long at all. How good's that? He's only very lightly pinned in the corner of the mouth, but that's a really nice little fish. What a start to the day. Really, really good going, and there's still heaps of time left in the day to fish. Alright, buddy, we'll send you off. Go on. See you later, mate. Oh, stoked to get another one of those guys. They've been haunting me and teasing me. I can see them down there along the bridge, and I can't get them to eat, but that's the first one we've got to eat in an hour or 2 now. This wind is making it almost unfishable. It is really, really windy at the moment, but I have a plan. Let's get out of here and try and figure out something else to do, because this wind is just unbearable. Light rod, bag, and the rest. Very snaky, very, very snaky, but here we are, doing something very, very different. You might be able to tell by the ultralight combo and the bucket with bread. I've just arrived at the second bridge of the day, and it's fair to say that this is very much a change of pace. What we're actually going to be doing is targeting some live bait for later on this evening. We found a lot of big fish earlier on, so I think the plan is going to be to try to catch some liveys here, then go back to the original spot and drop them down for a giant fish. Hopefully it goes to plan. Don't really target live bait very often, but we're gonna see how we go. So I've actually just got a little sabiki rig tied up on here, and then beside me, I've got a bag of white bread. So I'm just gonna be putting a little bit of white bread on the sabiki rig, bellying up and seeing what we can catch. Hopefully we can catch mullet, maybe some tailor, who knows. It's gonna be a little bit of fun, something very different, and we're gonna see what we can do. So this little contraption here is just my burley bucket. That's filled with some white bread and some wholemeal bread. And all I'm gonna do is chuck that out every now and again. Big splash, and that's gonna let out a whole heap of bread out there. So that's gonna waft off into this little back eddy here. Hopefully there's some mullet around. Look at all that goodness. Again, it's not a style of fishing I do a lot of, so we're gonna be figuring it out a little bit together, but we'll try that. We've got 2 hooks put with bread on them, and all we're gonna do is flick that out into the little burley trail which we've made. Let's see, very shallow. Oh, there we go, straight away. A tiny little brim. That's gonna be the problem. We're gonna get a whole heap of little fish like these brimbos. Straight away that little fella grabbed it. See you, little buddy. I might have burleyed up a little bit too much. Apparently the brim can be real pests when you're trying to get live mullet. A little bit more bread on those hooks. Hopefully we don't get plagued by those little brim. Surely there's some mullet if there's brim there. Slowly gonna wind that along the bottom as well. Not gonna keep it in the one spot. There we go, something. Another little brim. We could be getting plagued by a little brim here, I think. Might have to go for a few moves to try to find some mullet. See you, buddy. Come on, fishes. They should be right along that ledge there, if they are gonna be there. All right, I'm gonna go for a bit of a move. We'll try the other side of the bridge. Alright, what is the time? It is 3:20, so it's getting right into the afternoon now. I've been fishing these bridges all day. We're going to give it another 10 to 15 minutes with this slightly heavier sinker, casting it around the pylons to see if we can get any bait. And if not, we'll go... Oh. I just cast my sinker off. Maybe that's time to go, eh? When you say there's 10 to 15 minutes left to go and this happens, you just leave. Don't even fish, just leave. Next spot. Sun's already almost setting. Ridiculous, but round number 2 at this bridge. We are returning for an evening session. That's a funny looking bird. Hello, bird. Let's get out there for the last session. Man, time just flies when you're running around like a maniac. It is now 4:30 p.m. There's only 1 hour until that sun will be setting, so the day's just flown by. We fished here this morning till about midday, then I went in, had some lunch, tried to catch some live mullet and failed miserably. But now we're back at the big bridge for revenge. I am completely decked out this evening and ready for anything. We've got the floodlight, so we're prepared to do some night fishing. I've also brought out a big combo, so if we do catch some live baits, we're going to rig up the big combo, get that down and fish into the night with some liveys. Really excited. Hopefully the fish are around and we can get onto a couple. I think to start off with, we're going to be using the same lure which we were fishing this morning, the little Squidtrex Vibe. We had the most action on this lure, so we'll get some scent on it and give it a few casts. It is prime time as we speak. Sun's about to set, water's slowing down, there's fish on the sounder. It's looking really, really fishy, really fishy. Let's go, first cast. Bang. give the old paddle-tailed plastic a whirl. This one got a fish earlier on as well, so we'll try this out along the bridge. Switch up the techniques, it's always good to do. It's a beautiful evening. Take a look at it, that sun's pretty much gone now. It's getting pretty dark. Have to get the floodlight all set up and ready to go in case something happens. Oh, that's on. We're on. Yep. We are on. Feels decent too. Man, he ate that and swam towards me. Fully ate it and swam towards me, he did. I think it feels like a little Jewy. It is. It's a little Jewy. Man, that took a long, long time to get that little fella. But we've got one. That's the good thing. What is the time now? It is now 7:15. So we've been fishing since around 6 this morning and it is now 7:15. And we have got yet another beautiful little jewfish. It's pretty much been all day between bites, but we've finally plucked another one of these fellas. Good to see, very good to see. First bite for the entire night, so it might be a sign that they're about to turn on. Let's go, let's go. All right, little buddy. See you later. Look how cool they look in that light. Off he goes. Hopefully it's a sign of things to come. He actually ate that and ran towards me, so a bit interesting. Put a bit more scent on that lure and get back over there. It's first fish for ages. Get another cast straight back up in there. He ate that on the drop, that little fella. There we go. Yep. We got another one. Not sure how big it is, but we've definitely hooked up once again. A little bit of weight there, but it might be foul hooked. Oh yeah, foul hooked. It's just another little fella, all wrapped up. Where are the bigger ones, huh? Another grouse, little fella. Any jewfish are really, really cool. I love catching these things. Such a pretty fish. I mean, just look at the colours. Look at the colours on him. You can't get a much more cool fish than that. Super, super cool. The second one for the night, and I think the fourth one for the 12, 14 hours we've been fishing. So, nice. On this paddle tail, once again, I've switched over to the paddle tail. This is my favourite night lure, I reckon. 5-inch Z-Man. Absolute killer. Alright, that is me done for a massive, massive day fishing. We ended up with a few jewfish, a few brim. All in all, a really good day's fishing. Definitely put in a lot of effort to catch the fish though, but we caught them in the end, so it doesn't matter. If you enjoyed this one and you want to see more videos similar, be sure to give this one a like, comment your thoughts down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Alright, I gotta blind myself one more time. This is too cool not to share. So I just got back to my car and someone has left these. Well, it looks like a club has left these. Take a look at this. Move that bit of paper out of the way, and we have a whole bunch of timber handmade lures. Very cool. Very, very cool. Might have to use these sometime soon. Super sick. Thank you. Whoever that was, or club that was, thank you very much.